Do you know what the best version of you looks like? Just take a look in the mirror, the person that you were born to be, and say, huh, I'm taking on the best. Every day is a new day to step it up, and maybe some days I feel like giving up. I just don't get it, but I can't forget that I'm a believer in the power of yet. I may not know it now, but I will. Take a deep breath and I'm chill. Mistakes are part of the game, I embrace them. I don't run from my fears, I face them. How? I pay attention, I take charge of my learning. Draw it out and work it out to show my journey. Try until it clicks, make sure that it sticks. Working at it constantly is my secret. Practice is not something I do once I'm good. It's the one thing I do that makes me good. So I take another step, I'm obsessed with progress. You know why? Why? I'm taking on the best.
Hey world changers, and welcome to another video lesson of Taking on the Best. My name is Miss McCarthy, and I'm on a mission to make math fun, make it click, and make it stick for you. And I am so excited that I get to be your guide as we not only dive into Florida's best standards for 5th grade math, but just know that I'm also here to support you and encourage you every step of the way as you take on the best version of yourself. So without further ado, let's get into this video lesson and let me teach ya. In today's video lesson, we are going to be multiplying fractions that are less than 1. So grab your pencil, grab your workbook page, and let's get ready to take some notes. All right, so the directions say to find the product, that means that we will be multiplying, of each expression. Notice that we don't have any equal signs down there. That makes them expressions right there. We will include a visual model and a standard algorithm. And it says to simplify the fractions for extra practice. So simplifying the fractions is not necessary, but it is good to get in the habit of doing that. That way you're able to recognize fractions that are equivalent. I'm going to teach you the standard algorithm first, and then I'm going to show you how it even makes sense when we are using a visual model. Like, what is it that we're doing, okay? So we know that when we add or subtract fractions, our denominators must match. They have to match. But when we're multiplying, we just have to fly across the numerator and multiply, and go down and fly across the denominator and multiply. It's pretty simple. For instance, 4 times 2 equals what? 8. And 5, now our denominators, 5 times 3 equals 15. And that's all you have to do. That is the standard algorithm right here. We can even label this down here as the standard algorithm. Okay, it is a way to multiply fractions. We do want to see what's actually happening with these fractions and how we're getting 8/15. So let's go ahead and draw this as a visual model. We'll start by drawing a rectangle or a square of some kind, okay? Here we go, just like this, nice big one. Okay, so down here, I'm just going to write that this means 4/5 of 2/3. So first, let's create 2/3, and then we'll see what 4/5 of that 2/3 is. So here I go, I'm gonna break this into thirds. 1, 2, 3, there's thirds. And I'm going to shade in the 2/3 part in green. Okay, so we have 1/3. This is helpful to do with 2 different colors and just kind of shade lightly. And then we need another third, so 2/3. If you're using crayons or colored pencils, just go lightly. If you're using a pencil, go really lightly. All right, so there's 2/3. And now we need to find out what 4/5 of that 2/3 is. So let's go ahead and shade and create 4/5. So I'm going to divide this here. We have 2/3, and we're going to divide the thirds into fifths. We can do that by going across, creating fifths going across. So there's 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, and 5 pieces. And now we're going to shade in 4/5 of that. I'll use my yellow. So this would be 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, and 4/5. I'm not shading in the whole thing, I'm only shading in 4/5. And what we want to look at is where the two meet, finding where the two colors. If you were doing two different pencils, maybe for the second one you're actually making like lines going down instead of shading. Okay, just so you can kind of see the difference. That's fine too. You can do that to show one is being shaded and the other one you have lines going down. And here is what we're doing. We are looking for this part right here where they meet. In my case, where the green and the yellow meet is right here where they overlap. That's what we're looking for. We can even make a note there, just saying where they overlap. And that is where the answer is. Right in there is where we can find 8/15. So if we count up all of the little tiny equal parts now, we would have 15 equal parts. 15 equal parts. And the part that is being overlapped is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the entire 15 equal parts. And that's how we get 8/15. All right, so that is how you include a visual model. Now, if you're like, wait, what did we just do? And you have a lot of colors going on there, Miss McCarthy. And the next one, I'll try to make mine not have those little black lines going, the stripes going across. I just wanted to show you what you could do with a pencil there. But so now we have 8/15. The last step says to simplify the fractions for extra practice. That just means, can we reduce it? So 8, I know 8 could be divided by 2. Divided by 2, but we can't divide 15 by 2 and get a whole number. I could also divide 8 by 4, but 15 divided by 4 would not give us a whole number. And I could do 8 divided by 8. Those are all the factors of 8 besides 1. If we divided each one by 1, we would just get 8/15. For instance, if I did 1 and 1, we would just get 8/15, and that doesn't do anything to help us simplify. And then last would be 15 divided by 8, which that doesn't work. So that means that 8/15 is our simplified answer. All right, make sure that you have everything copied for number 1, and when you're ready, let's try number 2 together. I know that seemed like a lot of steps, especially when we're having the visual model. But again, remember, if we're using standard algorithm, that's a pretty simple step to do. We're just multiplying the numerator and multiplying the denominator. So 3 times 3 equals 9. And 8 times 4 equals 32. So 9 32, yeah, I think it's 30 seconds. I think that's how you would read that. 9 in the numerator, 32 in the denominator. Okay, so this is the answer. And let's go ahead and take a look at that simplified step just so we can go back to it. So I know that factors of 9 would be 1, 3, and 9. But I know that I can't divide 32. Well, 32 divided by 1 would just be 32. 32 does not go evenly into 3, so that doesn't work. And 32 does not divide evenly by 9, so that is not going to work. So right now, this is the reduced fraction. It's simplified. Reduced and simplified mean the same thing, okay? All right, now that we have that down, let's go ahead and draw our visual model. Okay, so we need, again, a nice big square or rectangle, and this stands for 3/8 of 3/4. So let's go ahead and draw 3/4 first. So we take our hole and break it into fourths, and we are going to shade in 3 of them. So 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. Okay, so there's 3/4, and then we're trying to find 3/8 of the 3/4. So what we need to do is divide our fourths into 8s, just like this. I'm going to start by just placing a halfway point right there. So I can place 4 on top, 4 parts on top. There's 4 parts on top, and then 4 parts on the bottom to give me 8s going across. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. So now I'm finding 3/8 of the 3/4. So I'll shade in 3/8 going across. Here's 1/8, 2/8 or 2 rows, and 3/8 or 3 rows. And what we're looking for is the overlap right here. Okay, the overlap gives us the answer. That's what we want. So all together, we have 4 rows of 8, which is a total of 32 equal pieces. And the overlap part that we're considering is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 over 32. 9/32, I think, is how you would read that fraction. So that's how you find what 3/8 of 3/4 is. So make sure that you have all of this copied, and then when you're ready, let's try number 3. Okay, number 3 is actually a real world problem. So we have Lamar has a 1/2 cup of sugar. He uses 1/4 of the sugar for a recipe. So how much sugar did he use? So we know that Lamar has 1/2 of a cup and he uses 1/4 of the 1/2 a cup, which looks like this, 1/4 of 1/2. So if we're using standard algorithm, we can multiply across and say 1 times 1 equals 1, and then multiply our denominators. 4 times 2 equals 8. So our answer should be that he uses 1/8 of a cup, right? 1/8 cup of sugar is what he uses. Now let's draw that out. So we said Lamar has 1/2 a cup. So let's draw 1/2 of a cup. There's the whole cup and we're shading in 1/2. All right. And then he uses 1/4 of his sugar. So we need to break it into fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's only using 1/4 of it. So just one row that we're shading in. So we look at where the overlap is. That's right here where the 2 fractions meet. And this tells us that out of 8 equal parts, we're only considering 1 of them. So 1/8 cup of sugar. That's how you would model it with an area model. All right, make sure that you have all of this copied for number 3, and then let's close out this video lesson. All right, world changers. So I hope that this information in this video made sense for you, that it clicks. But now it's time for you to make sure that it sticks, to lock it in. How do you do that? By taking charge of your learning and definitely getting that extra practice in, because practice is not something we do once we're good. It's the one thing we do that makes us good. So now it's your turn. It's your responsibility to get that extra practice in and ask questions when you don't understand. Before we go, let me remind you that your only competition in life is with that person staring back at you in the mirror, yourself. Do not compare yourself to other people. Just focus on being the best you that you can be. And that's what we are all about here, right? Because we are taking on the best. Okay, world changers, keep working hard. Stick with it until you get it. And I will see you on a video lesson real soon, okay? Bye.